I posted a free couch on Craigslist because I didn't want to deal with the hassle of selling it. It wasn't fancy, just a two-seater with some wear, but it was clean, and I figured someone could use it. Within an hour, I got a message from a guy named Trevor. Said he just moved into town and really needed furniture. He sounded polite and grateful, so I gave him my address and told him to come by that evening. I don't live in a busy area. My street is kind of tucked away, and I live alone, which I didn't think twice about at the time. Trevor showed up just after dark. He was in his late 30s, wearing a hoodie and jeans, and driving an old truck that looked like it had seen better days. Something about him felt twitchy, like he was forcing a smile, but I chalked it up to nerves. Maybe he was shy, maybe he just didn't like meeting strangers. I opened my garage and pointed to the couch, already pushed near the door and ready to go. He didn't go for it right away, though. Instead, he stood there kind of looking around the garage like he was studying it. "Big place for one person," he said. I nodded slowly. "Yeah, just wanted the couch gone, though." Then he asked if he could use my bathroom. That's when I got a weird feeling in my gut. Something about the request felt off. I told him no, and that I preferred people not come into the house. That's when he said, really casual, "You sure? You don't have to be scared. I'm not a bad guy." That sentence made my blood run cold. I wasn't scared until he said that. I laughed it off and said, "Yeah, no worries. Let's just load up the couch." As I reached for the back end of the couch, he didn't move. I turned around to look at him, and I swear to you, he had this completely blank expression. No smile, no frown, just staring. Then he walked up to the couch and said, "You know, you don't have to be alone tonight." I didn't even respond. I went straight for my phone and said I had to make a quick call. I stepped inside and locked the door behind me. I wasn't calling anyone, but I stood there pretending. Through the small garage window, I saw him pacing back and forth in front of the couch. After about 2 minutes, he loaded it up by himself, struggling but managing to get it into the truck bed. Then he drove off without saying a word. I stood at the window for a long time just watching, waiting to see if he would come back, and he did. 30 minutes later, I saw the same truck cruise slowly down my street, then turn around and leave again. He did that 3 times over the next 2 hours. I slept with the lights on and a kitchen knife under my pillow that night. The next day, I reported the incident to Craigslist and even gave a heads up to the local police, just in case. I didn't have much to go on, but I gave them the license plate number. They told me he had a couple prior complaints on file. Nothing serious, just disturbing behavior. I blocked the number, deleted the post, and made a rule. I don't give out my address unless someone gives me theirs first. And even then, I meet in public. That free couch almost cost me something way more valuable than furniture. I listed my old laptop on Facebook Marketplace. I'd recently upgraded, and this one still worked fine. It just had a cracked corner and ran a bit slow, nothing major. I priced it low, hoping for a quick sale. A guy named Lucas D. messaged me within an hour. He was eager, like too eager. Kept asking if it was still available, then if I could hold it for him, then if I could meet that night. Normally, I don't do night meetups, but we agreed to meet at a busy gas station. Public place, bright lights. Should be fine, right? He pulled up in a black SUV with tinted windows. He didn't get out at first, just kinda sat there. I was standing by the pump, laptop in my hands, waiting. Then he finally stepped out. Mid-40s, baseball cap low over his eyes, talking super fast. He asked to check the laptop. I handed it over. That's when things got weird. He opened it, didn't power it on, didn't ask for the specs or battery life. Nothing. He just stared at the screen and started asking personal questions. "Do you live around here?" Got roommates? Work close by? I gave short, vague answers. Something in me was screaming something's off. I reached for the laptop, saying I actually had someone else interested and might hold off on selling. That's when he got angry. Seriously? I drove out here for this. I told him he could still buy it, but I didn't feel comfortable anymore. That's when he said the line that still gives me chills. You should be more careful about who you talk to online. It wasn't advice, it was a warning. He handed the laptop back and walked slowly to his SUV. No purchase. No, have a good night. Just that weird, heavy stare before he drove off. I got into my car, locked the doors, and sat there shaking. A few days later, I got a message from a different profile. New name, no photo, asking about another item I'd listed. Same writing style, same urgency, same weird phrasing. I pulled all my listings and stopped selling on Marketplace completely. You never think a used laptop could put you in danger, until it does. I was moving across the country and didn't want to take everything with me. My old couch, big, comfy, a little stained, wasn't worth shipping, so I listed it as free on Craigslist. I figured someone would grab it fast, and someone did. A woman named Sandra messaged me within 10 minutes. She said she was new in town, had nothing in her apartment yet, and was desperate for a couch. I felt kind of bad for her. She seemed polite, so I gave her my address and told her to swing by around 5 p.m. She showed up early, like really early, 3:15 p.m. I was still packing boxes when she rang the bell. I wasn't going to be rude though, so I let her in to check it out. That's when things started getting weird. She walked into my living room and just stood there, looking at the couch, not touching it, not sitting on it. Just staring, hands clasped like she was at an art museum. I asked if she had someone to help her move it since it was heavy. She nodded slowly, then whispered, "I had this couch once," before everything fell apart. I laughed awkwardly, thinking maybe it was a joke. It wasn't. Then she turned to me and said, "I used to sit on one just like this with my husband before he died." Okay. Maybe she was just emotional, but she kept going. "He sat right there," she said, pointing to the cushion closest to her. "Right there when he told me he cheated." Then, I swear to you, she sat down, ran her hands along the armrest, and started muttering. I offered her a glass of water, mostly just to get her to stop. When I came back, she was crying, full-on tears, whispering something like, "He's still here." I can feel him. I froze. I didn't know what to do. Do I ask her to leave? Do I just give her the couch and hope that ends it? I gently asked if she still wanted it. Her expression snapped from grief to rage. Of course I want it. Why would I come here if I didn't want it? I helped her drag it outside, heart pounding, praying this would be over soon. That's when she said the last thing, leaned in real close and whispered, "Thank you for letting me bring him home." I didn't even wait for her to finish loading the couch. I went back inside and locked the door. She texted me that night, "Thank you again." It's like he never left. I blocked her instantly. The next day, I found a Polaroid photo slipped under my door. It was of her sitting on the couch, and behind her, a man, blurry, pale, in the window. I moved a week later. Never gave anything away for free again. I was selling an old bookshelf on Facebook Marketplace. Nothing fancy, just a 5-shelf IKEA one that I'd had since college. I listed it for $20, thinking it would be gone in a day. A guy named Trevor messaged me almost right away. Super polite. Said he'd been looking for a shelf just like it and could come by in the evening. Cool. I gave him my address and told him to stop by around 6 p.m. At 6 on the dot, he shows up. Thin, tall, glasses, wearing a hoodie that said, "Let's get weird." I should have taken that as a sign. We walked into my apartment so he could look at the shelf. He ran his hand along the edge and nodded, like it was some antique masterpiece. Then he asked if I had anything else for sale. I told him no, just the shelf. "Well," he said, "mind if I just look around? You've got a really good vibe in here." That's when I laughed, assuming he was joking. He wasn't. He started walking into my kitchen, just helping himself. Opened my fridge, looked inside, said, "You a leftovers person, huh?" I told him I didn't feel comfortable with him wandering around, and I was kind of direct about it. That's when he goes, "Oh man, sorry. I just feel really comfortable here. It's rare, you know." "Rare?" I told him again, firm this time, that the shelf is right there, it's $20, and if he wants it, let's handle it. He pulls out a crumpled 20 and hands it to me, but then he sits down on my couch. I just stood there, not sure what to say. He starts talking about his ex-girlfriend, how she used to love books, how this shelf would have been perfect for her. Then he said, "You kind of remind me of her, actually." That's when I realized this wasn't a casual conversation. His tone was soft, like we were on a date or something. I stood up and said, "I really need to get back to what I was doing. Do you need help loading the shelf into your car?" And he goes, "I could just hang out here for a little bit first. You don't mind, right?" I minded, hard. I told him I was expecting someone soon, which was a lie. He finally stood up, looked around my apartment one last time and said, "Yeah, I'll take the shelf, but I hope this isn't the last time we talk." He left with the shelf. I locked the door the second it shut. Next morning, he messaged me, "Your place felt like home. Let me know if you ever want to hang out." Blocked. Then he made a new account and messaged me from that. Blocked again. He tried 2 more times before giving up. Now I only do porch pickup. I don't care if it's a sofa. If you can't drag it out yourself, you don't get it. Lesson learned.